Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 588 for December 18th, 2024. And hello, everybody. I am Josh KI6NAZ. This is the last Ham Nation of the year, and we've got a lot of fun in store for you. So let's say hi to our very festive panel of hosts. How are you doing today, everybody?
Hello.
I got the gifts, Don. I like the shirt. Looking good.
I got gifts.
You got gifts.
I got gifts.
At the top
so
of
much I could say.
Yes. At the top of the pyramid. Gordo, how are you doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing fine, and as all ham radio operator viewers know, when it's Christmas time, holiday season, all the neighbors know you're a ham, and they bring you these little projects to help get their lights back up. This one is unfortunately history.
He got it. It's a good catch. Good
Water
catch.
got into it. So that's what I've been doing. We have a fun show tonight.
All right, Gordo. Thanks for joining us. Don, how are you?
I'm good. I am really good. As you can see, I've got my Christmas shirt on, and I'm in the spirit. And I've got my little candle going up here. The studio smells good, and I'm looking forward to a really good show tonight.
All right. Well, thanks for being here as well. And Amanda, as festive as always, you dress up better than anybody for all the holidays here at Ham
I
Nation.
love holidays. I can't help myself. I just do. The 5-year-old me never left when it became Christmas time. So I'm so excited. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. We got a great guest on tonight, and he's going to be telling us about some last-minute gift ideas all the way from across the pond and then some. I can't believe it. Anyhow, stay tuned. We got a great show, and Josh and I will be watching chat and taking your questions. But let's get to that guest first, because he's got to go to sleep soon.
Indeed.
Tim, how are you doing?
Sprechen
I'm
Sie
doing
Duffy.
great. I'm doing great, Amanda. It's so good to see you. And we're having fun over here in Europe, where Christmas is in full swing. But at DX Engineering, the lights are on 24 hours a day.
My goodness, I can't believe it. Now, I know you have some fast shipping, but I'm thinking Germany's a little far for the overnighters, huh?
A little far, but boy, if you're in the States and close to it in Canada, we are shipping every night. So all of our in-stock inventory is ready to go out of Sparks, Nevada and Talmadge, Ohio.
Sparks, Nevada, I guess I didn't realize you guys had a distribution there. That's awesome. That's great. West and East and everything in between. So fantastic. Well, what's going on with you guys? How you been?
Yeah, things are great at DX Engineering. We've had a wonderful year, and we've introduced a whole load of new products. So you can always go to the dxengineering.com website and see what's new. Just go to that tab and also look at hot deals for the best deals. But you know, if you're thinking about things that you could have for Christmas, we have some ideas here for you, hopefully, that we can get.
Well, you pull that up, but everybody, I still can't believe Tim's here all the way from Germany. But
There we go. There we go. How about this? High visibility.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
High visibility coax. This is a Gordo favorite, because when you're out on the beach, or where you're doing parks on the air or summits on the air, Gordo, you get people all around you, and you don't want them stepping on your coax.
Yeah, get off my coax.
that's a true statement.
So what better way than to have orange high visibility coax? So you can get our RG8X in high vis now. And of course, we have it pre-assembled with PL259s. These are the DX Engineering patented PL259s, ready to go in popular lengths. So this is and even if you just want to use it at home in the shack, really, really good stuff with the high vis. And of course, gear is always popular, Amanda. How about that t-shirt?
I
Just one
love
more
that t-shirt.
ratio.
I actually like the hat too. I could use that a lot.
The hat is fabulous, but we've expanded our gear line and in preparation for what's coming in 2025, and I'll talk about that at the end of this segment. But we've got lots of code keys. CW isn't a requirement to get a license now, but it's been so popular, and there are so many keys, and we have keys from Vibraplex and N3ZN and lots of other suppliers. So if the ham on your Christmas list is thinking about CW, we are the place to come for CW keys. And as I talked about, on the front page of the dxengineering.com website is hot deals. And here's where you're going to find returns, open box. These things are on sale. They've been marked down, and they've still got the manufacturer's warranty. It's great stuff. So always look in the hot deals. They make great Christmas presents.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's just some of our favorite things. And we've been putting this up on the website too. You can't go wrong with the Geochron. If the ham in your life doesn't have a Geochron digital yet, that is a super prize. And look at it. I know Amanda just love to have this.
I would love to. And I see ornaments right next to it.
Yeah,
Shut
the
up
ornaments.
and take my money right now.
Yeah. What Christmas tree doesn't need a DX Engineering ornament? Of course, coax prep tools to put connectors on. More of the apparel and hats and cases from Nanook. The keys, we have lots of books from RSGB and the ARRL. We've just recently brought on Icom, so we've got a huge supply of shortwave and AM and FM radios, along with the mugs and really nice clocks and headsets. So these are great gift ideas. And of course, if you're thinking about other things that you might want to have for gifts, the DX Engineering gift card is a great way to go, because you don't have to worry. They can get whatever they want, and the gift cards are available via email download. So it's real easy to get, and it is the perfect gift right at dxengineering.com. So, and in 2025, you can go ahead and stop the slides now, Josh. In 2025, it'll be our 25th anniversary, Amanda.
Ooh,
So
specials.
Special specials in 2025. Hamvention is going to be bigger, better than ever. Lots of surprises there. But as always, great to come on the show with you and talk about what's going on at DX Engineering. And we are going to be filling Santa's sleigh right up until the end.
Awesome. Does it feel like 25 years, Tim?
And Tim, we so much appreciate all you do for the entire ham radio community in helping support big and small DXpeditions, rolling nets right out of your home station. Thank you, Tim, for making ham radio happen and making it exciting. And I love my hat.
Absolutely. I would like to. I'm going to piggyback on that. And I think your greatest contribution is to the youth. You have done so much for all the youth in the United States and Canada and everywhere else. So we appreciate that very much.
Well, really excited about some of the youth initiatives we have going on this year at Contest University coming up in May. So maybe we can come back on the show, Amanda, and talk about CTU 2025 here. In the near future. We've already got over 15 youth signed up for CTU 2025. Really? So it's really
I didn't even know it was open yet. That's amazing.
Yes, it's wide open, ready to go.
We better publicize that. Well, Tim, I know you need to go. Thank you for joining us tonight. I would like to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and all of the DXE gang.
Thank you so much, Amanda, and happy Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody here on Ham Nation. And go to your favorite ham radio store, dxengineering.com, and we'll do our best to make sure that you have more fun with the best hobby in the world.
Heck yeah.
Thanks, Tim. 73.
Thank you.
feel so underdressed. I've got a DXE hat around here somewhere. I just can't find the stupid thing.
I do not have a hat. I have a cute pink shirt, and I love that.
You do have a cute pink shirt, yeah.
I'm really in love with that. All right. Well, that was awesome to have Tim on. Amazing. We always love having him. He's such a character. Let's see. Let's go to Gordo. Gordo, what do you got going on besides that tangled mess of lights?
Well, we're getting ready for the holidays, so we have Susie and Gordo in a new stage. And let's take a look at what ham radio operators are doing to keep our service really growing and our impact on the community, especially in emergencies. And so let's take a look and watch some pretty strange ham installations, and I'll tell you how they've really hit home. So here we go. Stand by. That is Eric that helps me edit some of the books, and he's looking at towers, and he thought he might like a nice new tower for the holiday season. And I told him, yeah, I'll get together with Don and we'll come on over and put it on up there. We were talking about the MCs at Visalia, and Josh following Chip, that's quite an honor. Chip Margelli on the right-hand side, unfortunately a silent key, but like Tim Duffy and all of the DX engineering team, they make ham radio happen. And here we are operating down at the beach a couple of years ago. They actually put big berms on the beach, so we didn't get a chance to do it this Thanksgiving, but who knows when we'll be back. But that's making things happen. And of course, Josh, without you, we wouldn't be here now. Thank you for making things happen. And like a real ham, he gets out there and you never know where he's going to turn up. Germany or here in Huntington Beach, taking part in Thanksgiving on the air. So, and he's pointing out that digital may trump the analog sideband that Chip and I were using for the Thanksgiving holidays. Speaking of coax, thanks, Don, for mentioning that.
Yeah, sure. That's what I do. I'm a giver.
Yeah, well, here's what we call quality coax, and I've got to agree with Tim. However they do their PL259s and end connectors, they are magic. They never fail. I've never had coax ever go bad from DX engineering. But you know, you get a lot of coax coming in from overseas. Some of it is okay. And when we take a look at it before we put it into service, yeah, this looks okay. It was overseas coax, and I said, you know, you got to really be cautious about bringing stuff in from foreign countries that has not really met the review by ham radio operators in action. And I said, well, let's just test it. So we put it on a dummy load, and we had about 20 feet of that coax, and it's almost like a LMR 400, maybe LMR 600. And we gave it 100 watts, and we got about 99 out the other end. Then we gave it another 300 watts, and the SWR went way up. And I thought, ooh, what's going on? We got RF getting into the SWR bridge. So I said, well, let's clear its throat and give it like 600 watts, which is typical. Look at that center conductor. That goo in the center got so warm for just key down for maybe 10 seconds.
That is unbelievable.
The center conductor shorted out, and the radio course went on bypass. Don is like looking down there saying, I won't even look at that. That is just...
No, I got my eyes shut.
But anyway.
It is cringeworthy to see it, though, Gordo.
So be cautious if you decide to get your coax from a overseas supplier whose name you don't recognize. So there it is. And look at this. Holy smoly. Not one of my students, but someone that just studied the Q&As without the real practical aspect of taking ham radio from a amateur instructor, amateur technician class instructor. We would never, ever suggest this, and that is one antenna, but I have two radios. No problem.
Possibly
I have
wrong?
Look at the bottom of your screen, everybody. They're shaking their heads. But we've all seen it. Now, when you transmit with a left radio, it goes to the T connector going, well, I see the antenna, but nearby is the right radio. Let's kill his field effect transistor. And that's what happens. So never use a T connector in a configuration like this. Well, tomorrow night, Susie and I and Malachi and Michelle and Escher and all the team are going out and monitoring VHF marine radio, which most of you can do with a VHF 2-meter 440 radio. It's up around 156.6 to 157.2. That's where Marine Band is, and we're going to watch the Newport Harbor Boat Parade, and it's supposed to be spectacular. I bet they probably have some RFI, so maybe good grounding will help the operator on board, who's a ham on HF, be able to get and receive a signal.
Now, Gordo, I got a quick question for you. Dragging the anchor, does that make for a good ground?
Yes, seawater is a wonderful ground.
Okay, good.
In fact, on a seawater ground, you just need a small contact smaller than a half a brick, and you've now got all of the Atlantic, Pacific, or wherever.
Well, don't DXpeditions put their antennas out in the water a lot?
They do. They put them right at the edge of the water, and you bet on their verticals, they're using that for the good ground. That's a very good point, Amanda. Oh, that's Larry now in the upper right-hand corner, or maybe on the screen, and he has a ball mount. And if we can slide, well, probably can't, but it's right there. You can see it sticking up. That's a real ham that'll punch a hole ×3 in their vehicle. Now, for a good ground, many times hams will have high-frequency bug catcher type of whips. This one slides up a channel, uses the ladder to get back down to the chassis ground. He's got a signal that's pretty darn good. This ham, we've seen him down at the beach, and he parks in a little area on the other side of the road right next to the ocean. It's sort of a strange place to park. And came by the house, and he says, you know, I've seen you drive by. I want to show you my antenna system. I took a look at this, and I went, oh, my God. What is that?
So that's where my Slinky from the 80s went.
Yeah, he's got 80 through probably 10 meters here, and that is the ground system. That's not the antenna. That's the tuned ground system. But really? He says the real kicker is that rod way down there in the bottom. And he says, come on down. So we followed him down there, went to the beach, and he pulls up to a secret spot. And he says, listen to what happens to some of the JA7 signals coming in from Japan. He backed up. He just touched his ground to the guardrail that ran probably 3 miles east and west. And Japan popped in about S3 to S4. It was in the noise before. So, yep. Ground makes a difference, but not sure I'd drive around. Listen, hams do not operate during storms. In fact, be inside. Get away from huge storms because, oh, my gosh, Don, you and I and Amanda, we've all been there. The Dayton Arena, Hera
I have
Arena,
not been there.
Gone. And what a shame. What a heritage. And what they discovered was they had secret little rooms. They even had a bar on the bottom floor. So you never know. The Hera Arena was quite the thing. So now we moved over to the Greene County Fairgrounds, and it's wonderful. But we can't prevent rain. This is a dedicated ham. All of you, 2025, make a New Year's resolution a little bit earlier, but I want to see you out there operating in the rain. In the rain, because that'll provide your vertical with a good ground. So that's your mission for next year. And that comes from me, Gordo, maybe 45 years ago.
Who's that sexy soul?
Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Thank you very much. I'd much rather be here, ready to go, oh, my gosh. But water is good for a ground. Amy and Jerry, you know these kids out of the Bay. Absolute engineers. they have created so many things. They're coming to Quartz Fest, and they come up with the strangest antennas, and they're always having fun. So for 2025, let's all have fun in ham radio and make things happen. Look at the smiles on those two ladies' face. They are happy campers. Oh, there's a not so happy camper. And I know, Don, every so often you have like small hurricanes down there, Don.
Small.
Yeah, little chicks named Katrina every now and then.
Right. Well, anyway, here at the this is not at Greene County, but this is the Dayton Fairgrounds. There's a ham that's not real happy to see his whole display on top of his vehicle.
No.
It's always fun to see people talking on like old military sets. You go, oh, yeah, right. And he hands you the radio and you go, QRZ. And someone about 400 miles away on 75 comes back. You're no longer laughing. This is fun. This is ham radio. Do something strange for people.
You're looking for one of those in the swap meet. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. There you go. Kids are our future, and in a couple of weeks, we're going to talk about my appointment to the ARRL as their national instructor trainer, and our whole mission is get hams on the air, not just passing the friggin' test. That means nothing other than you're a good memorizer, but get on the air and involve kids. This young man was doing logging. He was quick. W7WC. And he'd like type it in there. And I go, it's a 7. Going over bar. It's a 9. And he's got the whole thing accurately. So kids are our future. Get them involved. And you'll find that for like electronic logging. They're quick. And have fun with ham radio. Even though that's AC at Quartz Fest, who is, AC is AC. Playing a bedpan banjo. He was good. You wouldn't know the sound of the resonance of that appendage he was using. And, of course, Dave Bell, who came up with hundreds of hours of ham radio videos, the world of ham radio. He and Bill Pasternak, right, Doc?
I miss both of those guys, man.
We do miss them. And Dave and Bill just made ham radio happen. Yeah, and here we have doing the pickle. Most people are going, why are you doing the pickle? Oh, back to the pickle there, Josh.
Sorry about that.
Backwards.
I still have people talking about the pickle that you did in New Orleans all those years ago. So that was a lot of fun. Thanks again for doing that for us.
And what's now on the ARRL website under my name, arrl.org/Gordon-West, you'll find a instructor's guide that talks about using cold pickles for measuring the resistance of the pickle, calculating at 110 volts as to excite the pickle, being able to calculate the resistance, which is really tough when that pickle gets rolling with 110 AC on it, and then calculating the power. It can be used as a great demonstration in class, although people won't remember that for long. They'll go, oh, yeah, the guy that blew up the pickle.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, we have to have for our ham radio at Quartz Fest, the Burning Man. Oh, no, you can't use that name. Okay, we won't use it again. So we have the Burning Ham, H-A-M, just a slight change there. And we do. We toast it with some of the Wild's worst, not worst in programming, handhelds that come in at two pair. That's like 4 for $49.95, 2 meters and 440 meters. Yeah, right, 440 meters. Anyway, they're coming in like mad, and I feel sad that the industry is having to put up with these imports coming in. So we burn them royally there because we feel every ham should be able to program their ham radio on their own. Metal detectors, much like looking for DX on ham, so we do that at Quartz Fest. And Anderson connectors, we all have Andersons, but get them made here in the USA from prominent folks, because if you get the bootlegs, guess what? The plastic breaks, as you can see there. And, of course, everybody get those antennas nice and ready for the winter, because, remember, these joints are not 100% waterproof. In fact, we take a look. Yep, that one didn't make it out. So that's what happens in a big rainstorm unless you really take your 2-section or 3-sections linear whip from any one of the manufacturers and really tighten it up and then put some tape on it, or else it's going to ingress waters. Most of all, have fun. We're at the peak of solar cycle 25. We have all sorts of sunspots. Is that right? Solar cycle 25?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I have the shirt.
Anyway,
Oh,
we're
it's
at
official
the peak of
then.
our
Yeah,
solar
you got a
cycle.
shirt.
I forget the number. And at the peak of the solar cycle, 10 meters went nuts last weekend. And we had many of you come on and we said hi for a moment. But look at this. This was 2 months before. I think it was in September when we had the giant solar. Look at, even Dawn is ready to get some of the aurora. So it's still coming, and it's going to
You could
continue.
see some of it down here. You could.
Mm-hmm. Got some great photos myself.
Yep.
So finally, our last shot is of Josh. And Josh, we so much appreciate you taking us on after our work with Leo. And God bless Leo. What a great mentor for our Ham Nation cast, Bob Heil and the gang. We just wish you all to have fun in ham radio and get out there and make things happen. Do some really spectacular things where Amanda will put you in her can show at the very end.
There you go.
You're having more fun.
I need everyone to show off what they're doing.
Yep.
That's right. So 73 from Gordo and from Susie and the cat that I don't dare lift or I'll be red on my hands. And we'll see you all down the log. And now, having fun, Icom America. This radio goes to Quartz Fest every year, and I've got to get it ready for some more sand. Let's take a look and see all of what Icom is doing with their great transceivers. Icom America.
This holiday season, let your passion for communication shine bright with Icom's industry-leading ham radios. Celebrate the spirit of the season with reliable performance, cutting-edge technology, and the unmatched clarity that makes Icom a gift worth giving. On the road, Icom's handheld radios offer reliable performance, long battery life, and clear signal quality. Built tough for outdoor use and emergencies, Icom keeps casual and serious operators connected wherever you go. The ID50A provides hours of VHF-UHF fun and enjoyment. Beginners will love the easy D-Star settings, band scope with waterfall display, voice messaging, and share picture function. The ID52A is the first dual-band handheld with a full-color 2.3-inch waterfall display. Conventional FM and D-Star simplex, repeater, regional, and worldwide calls over the D-Star Internet Gateway. The IC705 and IC7300 are the go-to rigs for outdoor hams who love POTA and SOTA activations. Both radios feature a large color touchscreen with real-time spectrum scope and waterfall display for intuitive function and setting operation. The IC705 provides big radio features and performance in the palm of your hand. Enjoy HF to 50, 144, and 440 MHz with D-Star, SSB, CW, RTTY, AM, and FM modes. The IC7300 is an industry first to use RF direct sampling in an entry-level HF radio. This high-performance radio has class-leading RMDR and phase noise characteristics and a built-in automatic antenna tuner. The IC7300 will far exceed your expectations. The real HF fun starts here. Or upgrade your station to one of Icom's premium HF radios. With the IC7610, faint signals are no longer challenging for DXers and contesters. Pick out the faintest signals even in the presence of stronger adjacent signals. This is the SDR every ham wants. The new IC7760 offers a modern connection system with a separate remote control head and RF deck linked via a standard LAN cable for more flexible installation. Place the RF deck closer to the antenna feed point, freeing up space on your desk. You can even connect the control head to the RF deck through your home network, enabling remote operations from anywhere you're home without a PC. The ICPW2 is the perfect power addition to your base station. Take your contesting experience to the next level. The ICPW2 is a perfect, powerful addition to your base station. Take your contesting experience to the next level with Icom's industry-first linear amplifier with included digital pre-distortion and a built-in 2x6 automatic antenna selector for single operator to radio operation. For more information about Icom's great amateur radios, visit icomamerica.com/amateur today.
All right. Thank you so much to Icom for sponsoring Ham Nation. We really do appreciate it, as we always do. We give away 3 swag packs, and then we pick a radio at the end of the month, and this counts as the end of the month. So let's go to the Icom website. The link is in the video description. It's the first link you can see to enter now. Go ahead and do that. But if you scroll up at the top, see how it says View Winners? Let's go ahead and click on that, and we'll see live together who won. So first, the swag pack winners: Josh G, KE9BAH, Craig W, W5CBW, and Mike P, KK7VST. And the big winner of the 5100 to wrap up our year of giveaways with Icom, again, thank you so much for doing that, Icom. We really do appreciate it, is Sean C, KQ4PYT. That was a tongue twister of a name and a call sign. That got me all wrapped up.
It's a mouthful.
So we got a good question in the chat on the 2730B release date. I'm not exactly sure, but if we talk about it, but I did a bit of a video last week. Ray Novak has been traveling around, and we were able to get him on a video at about 7 a.m. my time before going to work. And let's hear from Ray on his kind of year-end wrap-up and see what's going on with Icom. And sorry for my spiky audio. It was a bit hot. It was 7 a.m., and I had had my coffee. All right, Ray Novak with us Icom, at the Icom America headquarters, N9JA. How you been, Ray? We haven't talked in a little while.
Well, considering that we're doing this as a recording and it's early in the morning here, I think I'm doing pretty good before the day starts.
Yeah. So what's going on? What brings you out to the headquarters, and what's going on with Icom?
Well, we periodically have these all company meetings and things like that. But since this is December, this is the holiday party week. So, I mean, we got people that are remote all coming in this today and tomorrow, and looking at what all we can do. We got meetings for the rest of today and tomorrow.
So big year, right? 7760 new radio, going to be out and about. When do you start, or when do you expect for people to see it, and what's been kind of your time with it, if you had been able to go hands-on, aside from Tokyo Ham Fest, right, or Tokyo Ham Fair?
Yeah, the interesting thing is it is our 60th year of being incorporated. Mr. Inouye started it in the 50s, but this is our official 60th year. And the 7760 60th anniversary was introduced at Tokyo Ham Fair that you and I did a video on. They started shipping the radios within 2 weeks to the Japanese domestic market. Right now, we've got product in the warehouse. We're doing testing on it and getting it ready to ship. Fingers crossed that the 60th anniversary will actually be under some Christmas trees. And, well, you know, hams, we're not going to put it under the tree. It's going to go under the tower.
Yeah, it's not going to sit under the tree for very long, but a big nice box to go along with all the other presents. So that's going to be fun for people. And
the thing is, I'm sitting in the N7IH Ham Shack, which is an extension of our museum. But behind me here is the 50th anniversary.
Oh wow, yeah.
And
that's the gold one, right? That has the gold accents.
Yes, sir. All the gold accents. I say the Yamaha black gloss paint.
The lacquered black, yeah.
Yes, sir. But then the first HF radio I ever got to touch, and it ruined me for life because I thought all HF radios were like this. But then quickly learned that not all HF radios are created equal. And it's funny how this little screen right here in the middle of the radio, is what everybody now is imitating.
Yeah, it's pretty much the way it goes. Even the small little QRP radios, right? A lot of what the Icom's done into the 705, all screen.
Yes.
The amazing controls there. So, I think it really, well, for me, it makes demonstrating radio a lot easier when I'm talking to somebody who has no idea what's going on. You can show them, like, literally, here you go, look, that's the person talking right there. That's where they're at. So, wonderfully
like
helpful.
This right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just depending on which way it goes. Right now, we're in
That easy, yeah.
Yeah, it makes it a lot of fun to play around with those radios. But also in this shack on the other side of me here is the control head for a PW1.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm going to take you a tour around the shack here. That's a 7700 and a 765. I'm going to end up putting a 7760 right here next to the 7700.
Nice.
And then farther in the corner is a 970 and a 9700. But there is the control head for a 4KL.
Oh, cool.
And as you can see, there's Heil desk mics everywhere.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that. That's great.
First time I showed Bob photos, he goes, dude, we need to fix that. You need to have some Heil in there.
So another thing, you're going out with the PW2s are shipping. Is that, people have been asking about that. So how's that going?
Same production line between the 7760 and the PW2. So to be able to get everything for the U.S. market the goal is to ship both the 60th anniversary as well as the regular by the end of this month.
Great.
We had to suspend production on the PW2.
Just to get the 7760 going, right?
Right. There's a lot of hand installed parts and that to go into these big radios. So that happened. We're gearing up next month, January, for significant production size, and then February. By the end of March, we should be caught up on all back orders for both 7760s, both versions, as well as the PW2.
Excellent. I know that'll make people happy, but I think everybody's just excited to get their hands on a new Icom radio with the 7760. So that's a lot of fun. Is there a standout feature so far from your playing around with it that you think people are going to be really interested in?
That's the problem. I haven't had a chance to play around with it.
Oh, I thought everybody made space for you at Ham Fair and they let you go nuts with that thing for a while because you were on the live stream and that was fun.
They did. I got to play around with it, but to actually get it on an antenna,
sure,
without people watching and wanting to see, well, what does this button do? What does that button do? I haven't had that yet. I did have a prototype shipped to me. It was supposed to arrive on Monday, but customs and everything, it showed up on Friday, and I was traveling on Saturday.
Right.
So I'm like, Mr. FedEx, here's a shipping label. He goes, dude, I can't handle that. That's ground. I'm air. So I had to go drop it off at Staples.
Oh, no.
And it was really nerve-wracking because the guy at Staples says, no, I can't give you a receipt. The FedEx guy's got to do that. And FedEx won't be here till 5:30 to pick up.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, oh, here I am dropping off a box, and I have no receipt to show you guys. I've got ownership of it now.
Yeah.
So that was nerve-wracking.
I bet, yeah.
It then went to, I think it went to Portugal to my friends over there for a show.
Okay.
So I have yet to get one. I'll probably get one in January and then go visit George and Tommy.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And at that point, what's nice is George has got a 7700. That's his go-to radio. So it'll be very interesting to see his eyes light up when he can have the control head there at the studio where the body is over in the rack.
Yep, get that close to the feed point or the feed line and all that, and you can simplify your shack a lot. I see that as being a huge value. Of course, we love having big radios on desks. We all love that, but I think the value aspect of being able to put the body somewhere, if you will, is gonna really be a positive thing for people. So what else is going on, Ray? It's kind of the end of the year. Looking back on 2024, it's been good.
We got one other radio that's been back ordered that you've probably had a lot of questions about. We shipped all the ID52 60th anniversary radios.
Yes.
So the dealers have got all of those now. The non-60th anniversary versions will be shipping this month as well.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, that was actually a pretty good deal I saw on Black Friday for the people who jumped on that for the anniversary edition. So it looks good. I like the color. The color's really nice.
And then the 2730, I call it the blackout.
Yeah.
The 2730 blackout, we're looking at maybe Orlando timeframe.
Oh, okay. So pretty soon. We'll be seeing each other pretty soon here in Orlando. You'll be there, I assume?
Oh, yeah. I just finished booking my flights for that. I head out on Wednesday because now it takes me all day to get there. So Thursday is set up. Friday starts the show. Sunday I fly to Miami to get ready for the Miami International Boat Show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forget how busy you are. It's not just amateur radio for Ray. It's all the radios pretty much with Icom. How are you managing all of that? You still the busiest? One of the busiest people at ham radio?
It's juggling a lot of stuff, but the nice thing about it on the marine side, I've got two great manufacturer rep companies working with me. A company called Comar on the pretty much east of the Mississippi. West of the Mississippi is Coast Marine Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
The owner of Coast Marine Marketing 15 years ago ran our marine and aviation division, so he's very familiar with Icom products. And he used to work at what was AES in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well,
and his dad works in our technical support department, so it's almost like family again, going to shows and working with him.
Oh, that makes things a little bit nicer too. So that's great to hear. So Ray, anything you wanna mention as we roll into the new year here?
Well, one thing to throw out there, we are hiring.
Oh, great.
Looking for somebody that's got marine background. So looking at somebody to help me with the marine and aviation side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the one caveat is they got to be located here in Kirkland, Washington.
Mm. Okay.
So we're focusing on the Pacific Northwest, or somebody that dreams of coming and living in the Emerald City, rooting for the Seahawks and the Mariners.
All right. Good. Well, what else?
Oh, what else? So starting the new year, Orlando right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
It just is mind-boggling how quickly this year has gone.
Yeah, I booked my travel last week as well, so I was at least thankful enough to get a direct flight to Orlando. That's always a good thing for me. I'm happy about that. But yeah.
What I know you're digging here. Something new year. What's new? I almost forgot. Earlier I was telling you we're working on a new collaboration.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
A big announcement is going to come with our partner on this, and I really can't say anything more about that, but it's going to be exciting. I know I'm going to get, oh, thank you. That's great that you guys are doing that. And I know I'm going to get, you guys should be doing this. So there's going to be a lot of armchair quarterbacking come probably mid-January is when it's going to be announced.
Oh, good. So we'll be into it when Orlando rolls around. So we'll be able to talk a little bit about what's going on with that that's excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to see you in person once again. And best of the holiday season and best wishes and everything to you from everybody here at Ham Nation. We super appreciate all the support you've given to not just us, but amateur radio throughout this year and the many, many years you've supported. So, Ray, just thank you so much for everything you do. And anything you want to mention before we get on with the rest of the show?
So one thing that I got a question for you. Coming up February, Orlando. what is that going to be, a YouTuber gathering?
I think all Hamfests are considered YouTuber gatherings at this point. So yeah, they're I believe temporarily offline. Steve, he's had an ongoing POTA event that starts a couple of days early down in Orlando, because there's actually a couple of good POTAs down there that are relatively adjacent to the show. And since we usually have to drive up from International in kind of, I guess, the touristy area, most of us anyway. So yeah, that's fun.
Wait a minute. T.O.?
Mm-hmm. T.O.
I thought he was out west.
No, but for Orlando, when we're talking about Orlando, yeah. So I know a number of the guys get there early, and we usually go grab dinner and stuff like that. So we'll tell everybody what we're planning as we get more of them going. But yeah, Orlando's a good kickoff for the whole con year from my point of view.
Well, can I throw my name in a hat for a possible invitation?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah, I will. I will make sure you are on the list. We'll tell the security guard in front that works the security for all our VIP events that we hold.
Excellent. That is a fun show. There's so many people that come in for it. There's so much for the family to do beyond amateur radio, and the flea market's pretty decent too.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. Nothing better than walking around on flip flops and sandals, right, or and shorts, to go look at radio stuff in February.
And will we see Amanda down there?
I don't think so. I don't know, though. We got to start putting, well, she's listening right now, so we'll put out the call for Amanda and see what she's got going on. She might be looking for a little warm weather after being in Colorado for the next, for the next couple of months.
Yeah, that's one of the things I hate about doing these recordings. I can't really interact with everybody that's on the show.
Yeah. The weeks just didn't line up right, because you're at headquarters this week, and we're as everybody's watching right now is the week before Christmas, right? So yeah, it makes it tough, but I appreciate you being available to talk with us.
Yeah, and I know you guys are all going to be dressed up in your holiday garb. I've kind of got a reputation at our holiday party. I mean, people are already asking me, well, what are you wearing this time? Because last year was a tux jacket that was all red sequins and a matching reindeer bow tie.
Nice.
So I told them this, I'm going to have a wardrobe change. I've got one outfit to bring cheer and joy to everybody in the office, and then a different one for the evening event.
Is that today? Is the party today?
No. It's, wait a minute, today's Thursday. So no, it's tomorrow night.
Okay. Well, have fun with that, and we again appreciate you. Best wishes and everything into the end of the season here, and Happy New Year, Ray.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody out there, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm so thankful that we were able to convince you to go ahead and take over Ham Nation, to keep it going, even on top of what you do with Ham Radio Crash Course. And greatly appreciate you keeping this going on.
Thank you, Ray. That means a lot coming from you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I feel both shows bring a lot of people into the hobby, or at least make them aware of it. And my philosophy from many years ago was, after seeing a T-shirt that said, "Be kind to your children, they choose your nursing homes."
That's good. Yeah.
I kind of twisted that to be kind to the children, educate them about the hobbies, because they will write our future CC&Rs.
Right.
And I'm not one of those high pressure guys that says every kid that gets exposed to ham radio has to get their license. No, it might not be for everybody, but to let them know that this is the birthplace of technology, that most of your innovation, especially hardware, comes from ham radio operators or those that are technically curious.
Mm-hmm.
So many things. I mean, think about, now we see these Dr. Arduino kits and things like that. But how much of that migrated from those that were technically curious, and how many ham radio operators deal with, whether it's an Arduino, BeagleBone, a Raspberry Pi, that kind of stuff, to drive innovation.
Yeah, it's true. I I agree with pretty much everything you said there. I think
And
we got to make it a household name again. That's my whole view is let's normalize ham radio, make sure everybody knows what it is and how valuable it is. It's not for everybody, we know that, but it's for a lot of people and probably a lot more that don't even know about it yet.
It's funny. I've done a few what is radio training sessions here in the office because, I mean, not everybody we hire at Icom
Sure.
is a radio enthusiast. And a few things that was very surprising to me is the younger generation. I mentioned AM radio, blank stare.
Really? Wow.
So it then I started realizing a lot of what I grew up with. You're a few years younger than I am. A lot of what you grew up with is not in today's cars.
That's true.
Not in today's households. I mean, you ask somebody in junior high, what's a mixtape?
Oh, you're not gonna know. They're not gonna.
You mean
know.
my Spotify?
Yeah. What's my list? My playlist, right?
Yeah, my playlist. So one of the things that I did is radio touches every day of your life, whether or not you know it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a funny look back from the group, and I go, "You have any idea how many radios that are in this device?" And they immediately, that's a cell phone.
Right.
There was a debate whether it was a radio.
Right.
So I can't remember off the top of my head. I think there's 5 of them in here.
Yeah.
One is cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. There's a GPS receiver, so you got a receive-only device.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the chat's going to fill up with what the 5th one is that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think the cell phone portion of it alone is 2. You've got
I'm
NFC
talking about
as
the
well.
technology.
Oh, like NFC, because you can
got
tap
cellular, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS, and I think the other one was a receiver as well. But again, cannot remember off the top of my head.
That's a lot of radios.
But then it immediately changed their thinking, and it then became very easy to talk to them. And one of the people came back and goes, last night I walked around my house thinking about how many radios I had in my house.
Yeah. Because
anything that is considered wireless, and that started with radio.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It's an important thing to keep going. Well, Ray, again, thank you for everything you do. We appreciate it, and thanks for taking you got a busy week going on. You're always so busy, so thanks for hopping on with me and having a quick chat. So,
all right, enjoyed it.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Ray, so much. I appreciate him for being on and taking the time.
Oh, that was so many nice words.
Such a good guy. Yeah.
Now, I screwed up some of the background audio as I'm trying to host this and also share the video. And Amanda, he asked, are you going to Orlando? He asked if you're going to be able to get out there.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Even though I have a friend that lives nearby there, and he called already and said, I've got a spare bedroom. And it's rough, that part of year.
Yeah.
Orlando is an amazing ham fest. I heard
it was. And Jeff would way rather go to Florida than he would Ohio. If we were going to travel to one, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's an amazing ham fest. And Icom America, they do so much. Ray does. He gets out there at Quartz Fest. He operates like 12 to 14 hours HF at our little station that's wind is blowing. I mean, that's a real supporter of ham radio. So, Ray, if you're watching wherever you are, you're right up there. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Josh?
Yep. Oh, well said, Gordo. Well said. I'm going to throw it over to Don because I think we got some news of the week, hopefully.
We do. And one thing I'd like to say regarding the video with Ray, Gordo, when you and I both started Ham Nation all those years ago, neither of us had this much gray hair. And I just want to know what kind of little dabble do you Ray's using, because we need to roll him in the parking lot and get some of that. Because I'm getting tired of looking like Santa Claus here. I really am.
He does have a
Ray,
good head.
What's your secret, Ray? I need to. Anyway, I'll ponder that while you watch the little newsreel.
There you go.
Go ahead. Yeah. From Amateur Radio Newsline, report number 2459. This is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. If there was a satellite in orbit that was made out of wood and it had amateur radio as part of the payload and you could make a contact through it, would you? Well, would you? Newsline anchor Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, has the full grain details.
Our top story takes us to Japan, where officials at JAXA, the Japanese space agency, cheered on December 9th as they watched the International Space Station's deployment of LignoSat, an amateur radio CubeSat made largely of wood. The satellite, which arrived at the ISS a month ago, has been a high-profile experiment in avoiding space junk by using biodegradable components, in this case, magnolia wood. The long-awaited joint launch by NASA and JAXA makes yet another satellite available for amateur radio. The satellite has a CW beacon on 435.82 megahertz, plus or minus Doppler.
To view the launch, visit the YouTube link for the JAXA channel in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. Staying in space, the Meteors are putting on a show at the moment, and maybe even giving a little boost to your last chances of DX via meteor scatter for the year.
The final major meteor shower of the year, the Geminids, hits its peak on the 14th and 15th of December, but will remain active until December 24th, Christmas Eve. It's a prolific shower that could be obscured by the full moon in some regions during the key peak moments, but radio offers some solace. If you can't see the showers, you can tune them in on FM radio, according to FM DXer Nick Langdon, writing on the RadioWorld.com website. Nick writes that a sensitive FM radio, tuned to an open frequency, might be able to receive a somewhat rewarding message from high above as a series of audible bursts known as pings. He also recommends a directional Yagi FM band antenna if you have one. Of course, those hams amongst us who enjoy meteor scatter will likely be tuning into radio too, namely 2 meters and 6 meters. They'll no doubt be chasing those ionized trails left behind in search of some memorable DX. This is Kent Peterson, KC0 DGY.
In the midst of a cold winter here in the United States, what audio could impart more warmth than the sound of AM?
You'll receive a warm welcome when you check into the annual AM night of the Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association on December 26th. Pre-net check-ins begin at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and then it continues well into the night. Set your rig to AM mode and tune to 1.936 megahertz. A number of the check-ins are expected to be from ops who have converted some broadcast rigs, but you can also expect to hear military radios and some from the golden age of AM broadcast radio. Of course, if you have a contemporary rig and it offers you AM mode, join in. AM Night will also appear on NetLogger to help keep track of check-ins. This is Stephen Kinford, N8WB.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, Stephen Kinford, N8WB, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now, here's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Skov, WX6SWW.
We have some gorgeous eye candy, a solar storm fizzle, and some massive far-side eruptions. These stories and more are in this week's Spotlight. Space weather this week has given us a lot of eye candy. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, we've been watching a number of regions, including 3917, 3924, and 3920. All of these have been giving us little pops and whistles in terms of solar flares, but not any super big eruptions. In fact, region 3920 on the 14th fires off this kind of stealthy solar storm. It's really hard to see, but it begins to destabilize this filament, this big long worm-like filament, as you can see here. When we take a look in coronagraphs for this eruption, though, what we see is a very big but slow-moving halo, and this thing is actually Earth-directed. So we are watching this thing kind of going, well, it's going to be really slow eruption, but then region 3924, as it continues its little activity, it then pops off what looks like could be a solar storm eruption. You see this here. It lights up this whole segment in here, but when we look in coronagraphs, we don't really see anything. So we think it's probably a failed solar storm launch. Still, however, it begins to really destabilize this filament, and then whoosh, do you see that? It launches, but it also lights up these old regions again. So there's this whole huge thing by the 15th that launches partially Earth-directed with a lot of material. So when we take a look in coronagraphs, you can see this massive partial halo. And we weren't even sure this thing was going to be Earth-directed at all. But remember, there was a solar storm in front of that. So believe it or not, when this actually launched, we ended up getting a solar storm, but you might not have even noticed. We had the solar storm hit yesterday, but it ended up being very much a fizzle because the magnetic field was oriented the wrong way. So sadly, even though it was a really strong solar storm, there wasn't much aurora that was produced by it. Still, if you saw this back here, did you see that big blast? Let me back it up a little bit. You can watch it. Whoosh, do you see that back and forth? Watch this thing kind of evacuate out like that. Boom, right there. That was a big far-sighted eruption. Look at this monster. This thing is a very intense solar storm, likely from old regions 3905 and 06 that we'll be talking about here coming up shortly. But after that blast, things really quieted down for a bit. We did have another failed filament launch right here. You can see this. This was definitely a fizzle. We basically had to wait for region 3905. You can watch it right on the boom, right there on the east limb. That fires off a gorgeous eruption, and that causes a secondary eruption. When we look in coronagraphs, sadly, neither of these are Earth-directed solar storms. So, once again, gorgeous eye candy, but nothing Earth-directed for aurora photographers. However, as we continue watching the far side, we had this massive solar storm eruption. Look at this huge halo. This thing was so incredibly large. As you can see, it made a gorgeous eruption clear in the C3 field of view, way far out. This shock and the speed of this solar storm is incredibly fast. Thank goodness it was far-sighted, but it sure makes us wonder what's coming around the bend, because it does look, as we see these regions rotating into view now, we do expect to see more big solar flares and big solar storms coming in this next week. So be sure to keep your eyes on the sun, photographers. Now, switching to our solar flare and dayside radio blackout outlook over the coming week, we are sitting well into the triple digits. In fact, by the end of the week, we could be up into the 200s when it comes to solar flux. And this is because of those returning regions 3905, 06, and possibly 3912 that could be very big flare players. So expect to see that solar flux rise. We're also sitting at moderate noise on the dayside radio bands, but that could also rise as we move into the next upcoming week. NOAA's giving us about a 40% chance of M-class flares. This is at the R1 to R2 level radio blackout level, and also about a 5% chance of X-class flares at an R3 level radio blackout. But again, this is likely going to rise over this next week as those bigger flare players rotate into Earth view. So everybody hold on to your hats, because it could get pretty noisy. So the space weather this week is full of a lot of eye candy. We have had a lot of eruptions that haven't been Earth directed, but we do have the chance for that to change here over this next week as new regions rotate into Earth view from the sun's far side, and they have been launching some whoppers. So aurora photographers, don't worry about the fizzle that we've been having. Just kind of sit tight here over this next week, and we could get some bigger storms on the way. Now, amateur radio operators and emergency responders, enjoy the quiet right now on the dayside radio bands, because this is likely going to change over this next week as these big regions rotate back into Earth view, and we start getting the big flares like big radio blackouts again. So just expect that the noise on the bands is going to rise over the next few days and into next week, and just kind of hunker down. And now you GPS users, well, the same kind of thing. Enjoy the relative quiet right now, because things are likely going to change in about a week. And as long as you're vigilant near dawn and near dusk, your GPS reception, at least over the next few days, should be pretty top notch. I'm Tamitha Skov, the Space Weather Woman. Thank you for watching.
All right. Thank you, Dr. T. We certainly appreciate everything you do for us. Merry Christmas to you and your family. We appreciate the Newsline crew as well. You want to check out Dr. T. It is at Tamitha Skov on X, and also Tamitha Skov on YouTube. And of course, it's spaceweatherwoman.com. Icom. And look, Gordon, I found something to cover up the hair, the gray. It's the Icom hat. It works really, really good. And besides, I admire Dr. T so much, I want to see what it was like to be a redhead for a while. So there you go. And I hope I can pull it off as good as she can. I don't think so.
Close second.
Okay, I'll take it. That kind of guy, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, we appreciate Dr. T so much.
Yes, we do.
If Dawn didn't mention it, follow her on X and Patreon and some other places and
every place.
Get all your updates. And she loves retweeting all of the Aurora pictures, and they're amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
So
Yeah.
People send her the best Aurora pictures. I love it.
Yeah, they
love
do.
it. Well,
they really do.
She's amazing. We're just so lucky to have her as part of the team. We really are.
We've passed the hour, but I have a feeling it might be a seasonal ham it or cram it, or ham it or can it. I don't know.
Well, that too.
Ham it or cram it is also pretty good. We don't need to consider changing the name.
But some of these photos, I have said can it or cram it or stuff it.
We'll leave it to the chat if it's a cram it or can it. So I'm throwing it to Amanda here for the
thank you,
the cram
Josh.
it session.
Yeah.
Well, so I come along with this gem real quick. Like, this is so cute. This is now how I'm going to measure my happiness in ham radio. The funometer. This dude, it's so
I
cute.
love that.
I know.
When it goes to 11.
It goes to 11. So smart.
So I asked Grok to make me some funometers, and it didn't disappoint. Here's my first funometer.
Oh, look at that.
That's good.
Oh, man.
I thought that was pretty awesome. And then this one, like, I don't even know how it grabbed this, but it looks like it's saying like QRP, but I don't know how it got that, but so that's my second funometer. I love it.
I love that.
So I'm hamming that. I loved that he came up with that. This is so cute. Is it just me, or do all hams have multiple unfinished projects going at once?
My man, brother. Jason. That's KM4ACK. Great guy.
Yeah.
One of my favorite dudes.
Well, Jason, yes. It is not just you. We all have a lot.
A Christmas wreath unun.
Isn't it? It's very Christmassy too. Nice. Very nice. All right, this one, testing. This thing will cook your breakfast for you too. I don't even know what this is. So this is a what am I?
He's got it. That's Kyle, also a fantastic guy, one of my friends. I had George from the Ham Radio Workbench podcast on, and he is making a remote station system. And so those boards are the core boards for remoting your amateur radio. There are most of the Icoms, Flex, Elecraft, a lot of radios can be remoted, and that is the Raspberry Pi board, the RF board it looks like, and then the main hub that you can connect like your battery bank into, your solar panel, so that when you're remote, you can have a little web page that says, oh, my solar panels are not charging. Maybe it's rainy, and so maybe I'm not going to hit the batteries with 100 watts. So I'm going to dial back my radio remote. It's all for remote operation. It is fascinating, and that's the beta that he has.
I think Bob Heil would appreciate that type of pine board project. That is
a newfangled pine board project.
That's what caught my eye. Was like, oh, this looks pine boardish. You know?
It does.
Like, I didn't know exactly. I'm glad you explained it, because this was my what am I, because I had no idea what he was talking about, except for that I saw that it would maybe cook my breakfast too. So I'm pretty thrilled about that.
Well, if you set it up on a timer, maybe you might be able to. Yeah.
Very interesting.
If that is cedar, you could throw some salmon on it.
Shack Intelligence, yes. This one was just nice. This dude, YL3GU, not from this country, just throws out this antenna to play a 10-meter contest right out. Obviously, this is an apartment or something. And so kudos to you, bro. I'm glad you did that. I hope you had lots of contact.
I worked them. I worked that station.
Did you really?
Oh,
that's so funny.
That's awesome. Unless you have hellacious RFI, the 10-meter stuff is fantastic now. Get on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is unbelievable. Get on 10, you technician class, 28.3 to 28.5 for boys.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is kind of another 10 was booming, and I didn't get much of a chance to play in the contest, unfortunately. This is kind of a what am I don't know what this dude is doing, but he said built a decoupler for the PTT out from the IC 7300 with a simple optocoupler and diode and a resistor from scratch. What?
What's a decoupler for PTT? So he is trying
for the
to
push
have
to talk. So he's remoting his push to talk.
Yeah.
Right, with an optocoupler. So he's optocoupling his.
Wow.
So he's pushing a button somewhere else. It's lighting up a diode. The opto receiver, the optocoupler is picking up the light, and it's sending, I guess, a signal to Kia's radio or whatever. I don't know but that hey, you know, ugly, but it works. Kind of like.
So I was gonna say, well, he was not lying about the ugly, but hey.
It looks like he stopped chewing on that breadboard to finish up the project is what was going on there. But Jody, longtime commenter, says isolating PTT ground from downstream. Yep. So there you go.
Actually, Icom America came out with a marine radio with fiber optic to control the head that you see over here to the transceiver. And it was a hit. You had to be cautious with that fiber optic, and it took the marine electronics industry a couple of years to say, "Ooh, boy, you don't pin this like coax." Nope.
No, you do not.
But it worked out well for Icom.
Gordo, did that help isolate RF too? Keep RF out of it as well?
Not RF, but the control of the tuner and many of the other things. But nope, the RF still goes plain old high voltage cable called high voltage HV 1600 volts.
All right. Now this one, does anyone else hate Molex connectors on the back panel of their ham radio?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
I do.
Yes.
I have broken so many fingernails trying to disconnect that.
I've broken connectors.
This is why I love power poles.
Oh, yeah. No, they're tough to get your finger under the right doodad. And that's what they use for the automatic tuner.
Why do they do that? I don't get it.
Cheap.
Well, it's for the automatic tuner, and they don't want it to fall out. And they make it really a tough one to disconnect.
Right.
Yep, definitely switch to the power poles. They're Catholic ham. But you are not alone. Okay, this is another. I had a lot of what am it's.
Yeah, I know what that is.
I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen
this. Ready to mod my HT. What are they modding? What are they doing here?
That's the drop-in board for the Quanchang, or not drop-in. It's a mod board for the Quanchang, and so that allows you to pick up 10 meters. Like literally, it'll transmit on 10 meters.
Ah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. I have not.
I guess I would have to see the HT.
It's the one that has the offset orange volume knob that's it juts out a little bit on the side. So I respect the firmware prowess of so many people that are modifying the Quanchang, but I have two of them, and both of them are dirty transmitters, so I haven't made any videos on them because I've not had good experiences as far as spurious emissions go. So that's the geek in me is like, oh, get on this firmware train. This is awesome. But my Quanchangs are dirty.
dirty shows.
Take a look at mods.dk. They are amazing, and they're free if you just want the basic mod, one a day.
Oh, I think Jeff has gone there occasionally.
I love that, in fact.
Yep.
I'm going to zoom in on this. This is just scary for anybody.
It's a little backpack pillow for when you're on a backpack trip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna this is a learning lesson, everybody. I know you just want to squeeze it or pierce it. Do not ever, for the love of your home or your children or your pets,
and run,
or your chest area or your hands, do not ever do anything with this except for put it in a metal container and get it as far away from you as possible.
Right.
And
run. Has everybody seen this before? This is a lithium battery about to explode.
And run.
Yes, run.
I like that the tablet they're using is of the On brand.
The On, I know.
Yeah,
it's on. It's on.
Yeah.
It is on.
It's on.
I mean, I have a lot of cheap On electronics in my house. A lot of I don't know, flash drives and crap like that, but I didn't know that they actually made tablets. So it's basically everything On is sold at Walmart.
Yep.
So And I'm not going to say
But,
that the brand.
be advised that many handhelds from overseas are coming in with lithium, and if you don't charge them on their exact lithium charger, they could go poof from overseas.
One of my Samsung phones did this. I was actually out on a deployment somewhere, and Jeff was playing with it, and he did pierce it, and flames shot out.
It's not.
Oh
it's not pretty,
my gosh!
I had a radio
threw it
control.
outside.
I had a radio control airplane that had a lithium pillow pack like that as the battery, and I was using the proper charger that came with the airplane and the lithium pillow pack battery, and it still puffed up like that. So yeah.
Wow.
So it's just a bit, now you know why they don't want you to travel with lithium batteries. Everybody, not a salesperson or anything, but buy that battery bag that's like supposed to be a safe enclosure. You can buy them on Amazon for like 10 or 15 bucks. Just travel with those and save everybody's life.
Absolutely.
Good idea,
My neck
man.
pillow looks like that.
Charge them in a Pyrex bowl too.
Oh,
Charge them outside.
Charge them outside. Yeah, charge them outside. Ours, mine that blew up like that. I had some fun with it. I took it outside, put it on a board, and shot it with a gun.
I was just
Jeff
thinking
would
BB
do.
gun it. Yeah.
Went boom.
And
Went big boom.
run.
Yeah.
Zoom in on that, Amanda. I want to see all that glory.
That's cool.
Beautiful.
This?
Oh, a hammer
I
loom.
found
Look at
this was like-
that.
I
Look
saw
at
this
that.
like a week or two ago. I can't even remember. And I couldn't remember why I liked the picture. I like the picture because of the antenna.
Yeah.
I think they call that a window frame antenna, don't they, Gordon?
But I really like, now
right?
that I look at it, now I like the Hellcrafter
AMDS.
video as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me see what his description of this was. His or her, I don't know. A loop antenna. Going to try with a little SDR and homebrew tuned loop today. Well, I hope it worked excellent for you, DB, the engineer. You should let us know how it was. But yeah, I thought that was a cool, pretty picture.
That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
And that's a very clean radio.
Oh, yeah. The aesthetic of some of those old radios is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it looks like he probably has more in the background there. And
I can
I'd
see
like to know
that.
more about the picture, about the Union Pacific Railroad as well. So
Yeah.
So does Frank.
very classy.
I've been falling down the antenna rabbit hole on YouTube lately. It's all so fascinating.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My husband has fallen down the pilots and guns of YouTube. So
There you go.
anyhow, I had AI create Santa with a ham radio,
nice.
and this is what they came
Wow.
up with.
That is a
That's wonderful.
that Santa
So
looks
Merry
like he's
Christmas, Happy Holidays,
35
everybody.
years old.
Not quite a ham radio, but it looks nice.
Exactly. I think it would probably just be your good old.
Looks like an old vintage shortwave receiver. When that, you know what, that's close enough.
Yep. Good
Looks
enough.
like good AM radio.
Yep.
Exactly.
So that's it for the end of the year of
All right.
Hammett, Cannet, or What Ammets.
I like
And
all
there've been
that.
some good ones.
You did.
So
you had a
everyone
bit of the
wa-
what ammets and the bit of the
Yeah.
hammets, and I don't
I'm glad
know.
you guys knew what they were because I was really
Mm-hmm.
dumbfounded. So
Nary a cram it in there.
Nearly a Kramit. There's no Kramits.
No
no,
cram
there was no
Yeah.
Kramits.
Got to work on that for 2025.
You know, everybody just remember, use your hashtag ham radio,
Mhm.
post it on X or on Blue Sky, and I will find it. Insta is a little bit harder, but I do find some good gems on there. And if you absolutely need to, because you want somebody to see your photo or critique it, you can email it to me as well, but that's not as fun. It's funner when I just find them randomly.
Yep.
So that's what we got. I'm going to mention the Nets, and at that point in time, I'm also going to mention their wonderful support this year from our Net Controls. So thank you, Net Controls, Kevin, Paul, and I'm going to leave people out, and it's going to make me feel like crud. Steve, and there's a bunch of Net Control helpers on D-Star, which is on 14 Charlie, and they're going right now, and they're saying, where is everybody? Because we're
Where's
still
Amanda?
talking.
They're great.
And we appreciate your support every other week for us and getting everybody on the air after the shows. So we appreciate that very, very much. And while we're doing our things, I'll go around the horn for this, but I'd just like to thank all of my co-hosts here and Josh. definitely had to take some time off this year, and everyone stepped up and filled that position, and I can't thank you all. And all of our guests that we have had on this last year have been wonderful. So if you're looking for a spotter, you want to get your ham radio story out there, contact me, because I am that's my jam. I love to tell people what's going on in the world, and everyone's seen a new story about it. So I would like to say thank you to our viewers very much for supporting us, and to Icom for sponsoring us. Thank you, Ray, very, very much. You're an awesome character and very funny, by the way. So, Gordo, how about you?
Absolutely. Everything you said, right on. Happy holidays, all.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah, it's been a great 2024 and looking forward to a better 2025. We've got some things family-wise that are coming up that I think we've got some improving conditions here. So that's a good thing. I found something, like I said, to cover up the gray. So that's a good thing. I've been getting on the radio a whole lot more just in the last few months. I guess it's maybe the there you go. You're looking good, Gordo. Gordo's on the Cover the Gray train as well. Having a lot more fun on the radio here lately, and especially with FT4 and FT8 and chasing POTA. And I'm putting together stations, so hopefully after the first of the year, we'll get out and do some POTA activations. I got on and made some contacts the other day, and 2 in a row were like, hey, it's Don from Amateur Radio Newsline, or hey, it's Don from Ham Nation. It's like, you're a unicorn. And I'm like, I didn't know I was a unicorn, but thanks for getting me in the log. So yeah, I'm hoping that 2025 has a whole lot more radio activation from me doing what I love. You know, when I got into this hobby back in 1995, I was licensed. My wife thought, oh, good, this will be the hobby of the week. And, he'll be off of this. And here now, what are we, almost 30 years later? And, it's affected our lives for the better. I mean, the people that we've met, just these people here on the screen, and so many more that we've met in person at ham fests and conventions and met on the air and have become friends and mentors. God bless you, Bob Heil. We miss you so much. It's just this hobby, and it's more than just a hobby. It's a slice of my life, and I just could not be more thankful for every little second of it that I've had since getting my license in January of 95. So thank you all, and hopefully we'll get you in the log this year.
That would be nice. Yeah. That's always my resolution, is to answer every CQ call.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's a hard one to keep up with. Josh, what about you?
Oh, so wait, I had like 8 things going on in the background. What was the question again? Just so I
there wasn't really. It's just you saying things, and you guys are
you're
awesome.
In wrap up.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. There was a question in the chat of when will we be live again? So technically 2 weeks from now is the 1st, and I don't think that's going to work. I think just schedule-wise, I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll talk after. Okay. Otherwise, it will be the following week. So we would, I guess, change our normal schedule. It doesn't matter that much. But 1,000 thank yous to everybody for watching. There was a couple of questions on my Christmas light antenna video. That will be the weekend after Christmas. So between Christmas and New Year's, we will be blowing up a new antenna contraption that I am building right now. So I appreciate you coming out. We're going for maximum performance of Christmas lights this year.
Now, remember, as the filaments get hot and light up, the impedance changes.
It does. That's why you got to have a really, really, really good tuner when you start putting power behind it, Gordo.
Right.
You're right.
Do it with
Do
it with a tube radio.
This is my 7th year of blowing up Christmas lights in the form of an antenna now.
Fun times.
That is crazy for me to think about. But
do you get the neighbors to come out and watch now too?
No, nobody cares. Nobody cares what I'm doing.
Look, the nerds over there again.
Yeah, they just assume I'm up to shenanigans.
That's
as
almost
always.
depressing.
Yeah,
I'd watch it.
Yeah, well, there you go. 2 weekends from now, guys, we'll be live for that. So, yeah, thank you, Amanda, for letting me jump in there with that.
Of course. Thanks, everybody. Now get on those nets, and we'll keep you updated on when the next show is.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We went a little long, but happy rest of your year. Happy holiday season. Hope the best for you all, and Get out there and have fun with ham radio, as Gordon has commanded. That's the homework until we see you again. Have fun with ham radio. And until we touch you again, 73, everybody.
73.
Thanks again, John.